When you get one of the hottest rappers in the game and combine that with one of the greatest producers of the game, you get projects like this. We're here to talk about Larry June and The Alchemist, The Great Escape. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button below and be sure to hit the notification bell so you can get notified on all the content that I'm bringing. Let's talk about the album. The album kicks off with Turkish Cotton, one of my favorite intros from Larry June since I've been listening to him. I feel like on this song, he's giving you a lot of game, telling you, keep the merchandise, put them on payroll, make sure your taxes right, things like that. Larry June is always giving you game in the intro of whatever mixtape or album that he's doing. And I feel like he did that perfectly with this first track and really set the tone for what you're about to get yourself into with the Great Escape album. I really, really like the sound of the beat on this one too. I like the horns in the background. I like the idea of the raindrops starting the song off too, because when you hear those raindrops, it feels as if, you're about to go on a journey. You're like an adventure almost. So Larry June really, really set the tone with this first track and really gave you a feel for exactly what you're about to get into with the entire album. Had to get my mind right. I cut off the petty-ish. That's what June says on the second track, 89 Earthquake, which to me personally is one of my favorite songs on the entire album. I really, really like this song because on the beat, you got the piano playing. The sample on it is also fire. I feel like if you are one of those avid music listeners that likes to deep dive into things, this is the perfect album for you to go check out the samples to. The Alchemist really, really, really put his mind behind these samples, and they're all very fire. But this one on 89 Earthquake, the lady singing in the back, oh, it's beautiful. Another thing I like about this song is Larry June jumps into kind of his sing song bag with the part where he says, feeling so good because I want to. Like when he gets into that bag, it's one of those smooth melodic tracks that you could just ride out to any time of the day, windows down, sunroof open, sun out, just chilling, enjoying yourself. And that's the vibe I get from 89 Earthquake. Now we're going to jump into the third track, Solid Plan, featuring New York artist Action Bronson. The message in this song is pretty simple. You can accomplish anything with a solid plan. Like I said before, Larry June is giving you some game in this one, telling you ways that you can, bet on yourself, invest in yourself. And he also likes to talk about art a little bit on his verse in this one too, talking about architecture and things like that, just to show you that his subject matters can be very different from your typical rapper. And I also love the spot that Action Bronson is on this album. I feel like this beat fit his persona perfectly to complement along with Larry June's cadence and the way that he raps. I love Action Bronson talking about food on his verses. He said on this one that your chick don't even know how to season meat. To me, that's fire because outside of rap, Action Bronson is an actual chef who actually knows how to throw down in the kitchen. So it's sweet when he can reference food and put it into the verses and make it all mix up very, very well. I love that about his style. I also want to point out one of my favorite parts on this album is the Sopranos reference that Action Bronson makes about the Mickey Mantle ball. If you don't know what that is, go check out the Sopranos so you can know what's up, so that next time you hear the song, you can sit back and laugh because you know exactly what he's talking about. And we can't leave out the fact that the Alchemist came through again with a beautiful beat for these brothers to talk their stuff on. This beat also has some horns, not a lot of bass, easy to ride to, easy to listen to. It was just a great track overall. Betting on myself and every time, it's a hit. That's what we hear from Larry June and Big Sean on the fourth track on the album, Palace Days, California. While I was pretty surprised to see Big Sean featured on the album, I was more than happy with his verse. I feel like he complimented himself very well along with Larry June by rapping about fish oils and chlorophyll, because we know that Larry June raps about living a healthy lifestyle, going to Whole Foods, drinking smoothies and things like that. And Big Sean was able to come in and just add effect to that with his own verse. Along with the fact that Larry June is able to talk his talk on this one, thumbing through a whole nother bag. It ain't the old one, and saying things like, come on, you know the drill, hop in and hand it over. If you know what he's talking about with that, then you've been listening to June for a pretty long time and you know what's going on. While the track is very, very smooth, I feel like the Alchemist kind of added a dark effect with this beat. Almost feels like as if you're going down a transitional tunnel to a light beam on the other side to like greatness or something like that. I really, really love the feel that the beat has. It has a lot of bass in it, but that's because of the first layer of the beat. It just features that. But overall, I love, love, love this track. Now we're going to talk about my personal favorite on the entire album, Summer Rain, featuring Ty Dolla $ign. Just based off the song title, Summer Rain, this is perfectly a summertime theme song track. No matter when you turn it on, it could be morning, afternoon, evening, late night. It's going to give you that same feel, that same emotion. You're going to feel really good when you listen to this track, especially when Ty Dolla $ign brings that melodic sound to the chorus. His voice is a little raspy on this one, but I felt like it just fit the whole vibe of the album completely by adding that into it. And also, let me just say, the Alchemist really got in his bag on this beat. The way that the sample came in, the instruments that's on it, it's just beautiful overall. And Larry June also got on this track and really talked his talk on this one. He really hopped in a bag on this one by saying you don't know the feeling when you lead a game. It's like if you know what you want to do in your life, and if you're doing something that's not exactly going towards that, getting out of it is probably a main priority. And I love the way that Larry June brought that to the forefront on this track. Next up, we got Orange Village featuring legendary Detroit group Slum Village. I really like this track because it has more of an upbeat, up-tempo sound to it versus the rest of the album. I feel like this might be one of those songs you hear at an event or a party, people getting their two-step onto it a little bit, things like that. I love how on the beat, the drums and the kicks on this one are heard very well, and they add a major effect to the overall beat and complement everything else with it greatly. On the chorus, Larry June says, living, working, trying for a better day. And I feel like that's a great message for the song because that's what life is all about, living and working, trying to get a bigger bag, put yourself in a better situation while also being a good person in the midst of it all. And I also can't forget the fire verses that came from Slum Village on this one. Complimented Larry June very well on this one. Felt like this was the perfect spot for Slum Village. Perfect beat for them to talk their stuff on. Overall, just a great track. Next up, we got Porsches in Spanish. Now, this is my favorite style for Larry June and his rapping. When it's just one verse, no chorus, and he's just talking his talk. He actually dropped a few bars on this one saying things like pull off in a V like Star Trek. I feel like Larry June really wanted to show people that he can actually rap and have bars because Larry June is not really known for his bars and his rapping style. He's really known for, having fun and being able to just kind of put it all together so nicely. But the bars, nobody really knows him for that. So the fact that he was able to showcase that on this track was amazing. And also the Alchemist in this beat, oh man, it was beautiful. The sample was great, like the rest of the album, and I feel like it worked very well with the subject matter that Larry June talked about on this one. Talked about a little bit of crime, talked about, investing and believing in yourself. We did all of this off of music. Is you stupid? Like he says these type of things on this song, and it worked very well with the beat. And it also makes you feel like you're in a Porsche when you're hearing this track. Next, we got Art Talk featuring another Detroit artist, Bodie James. Now, this was my first time ever hearing Larry June and Bodie James on a track together, and boy, did I love what I heard. Larry June's cadence and delivery fit well with Bodie James and his hard-hitting bars. His bars can be kind of dark, but they make so much sense and they go so well with everything that's going on this track. The Alchemist came through with another smooth beat, kind of melodic a little bit, had some horns in the background, not hard hitting like I said before, and it just worked well with both of these guys talking they talk on this one. Now at this point, we're halfway through the album and this is where it gets pretty fun. I've been searching around, but still ain't found real love. That's what Larry June says on the next track, Ocean Sound. My favorite thing about this song is the message that Larry June gives to the people. And that message is to love yourself first and always practice self-love, which I feel like is a perspective of life that a lot of people tend to forget about. Because he even says it, for the first time in my life, I feel like I found real love. Basically talking about himself and how he put the love and energy into himself more than anything or anybody in this world. This is also one of my favorite beats on the album. I love the way that the Alchemist added the guitar into it. Anytime I hear a guitar on the instrumental, I fall in love with the song immediately. So the fact that the Alchemist did that, along with the message that Larry June gave in this one, this is for sure one of my favorite tracks on the entire album. You know the drill, you either get down or lay down. That's what Larry June says on the next track, Left No Evidence, featuring Evidence. I really love this track because of the way that this beat sounds, and just the verses on this one are just amazing. Larry June came in with kind of a dark sound, maybe like a rough, kind of like a mob boss almost, if you know what I mean. It's like he really gave you the message clear as day, told you what it was, what it's gonna be, how it's gonna be, left no evidence, basically. Left no evidence behind as to what just happened on this track. Shout out to The Alchemist once again for another solid beat. The pianos on this one were amazing. The bass on this one was very, very nice too. I realized that when I got in the car with this track, it banged a little harder than some of the other tracks on the album. So this one really put me in a zone, I must say. I'm not too familiar with Evidence as an artist, but his verse on this one was so dope, and I really, really enjoyed listening to it. Now we're going to talk about What Happened to the World, featuring Wiz Khalifa, one of my personal favorite rappers of all time. The message in this song is pretty simple. What happened to the world? Like, what's going on in the world today? We know that right now we're living in a time where things are rough, things are getting thrown left and right at everybody, and really the message behind it is to really just keep going regardless of what's going on in the world. Worry about yourself, keep going, stay consistent with what it is that you're doing, and just stay focused out here. Larry June and Wiz have worked together on various tracks in the past, but on this one, this might be my favorite Wiz Khalifa Larry June track. I really, really like the way they came together on this one. With The Alchemist on the production, I feel like that helped as well. The Alchemist brought along a very melodic, smooth sound for both of these brothers to rap on, and I feel like they just work well together. Not only that, but Larry June got in his sing-song bag on this one once again by saying, I know this game can get so hard, but hold on, just keep going. It's like when Larry June gets in that bag, it's like that calm feeling, like telling you, like, everything is going to be smooth. Just keep doing what you're doing and keep going hard with whatever it is. Now let's get into Exito featuring Jay Worthy. Exito is definitely one of my favorite songs on the entire album. I love this beat. It has a really, really groove 70s kind of feel to it. The sample on it is very, very dope. Jay Worthy came in with some heat. Okay, Jay Worthy and Larry June, when they come together, it's greatness every single time. And on this one, Larry June really gets into his bag where he talks about his lifestyle a little bit and his life before rap, and really kind of gives you a perspective on some of the things that he was involved in before really getting into the rap game. And there was one specific part in his verse that I love. He said, start young, get it young. Basically telling you, like, if you got an idea, start it as soon as you get it. You know what I mean? Don't waste no time with it. Just get to it. Simple as that. I really, really feel like this song was piggybacking from Larry June and Jay Worthy's project, Two Peas in the Pod, that dropped in 2021. And these brothers just picked up right where they left off. A whole lot can change in 60 days. That's the message that Larry June and the Alchemist gave us on the track 60 Days. Another favorite of mine on this one. My favorite part about this entire song was the fact that the Alchemist blessed us with a very short, straight to the point verse, starting off by saying my leather coat was dragging in the dirt, just to give you that idea that he was on the grind, that he was on his way to a mission, he was on his way to get it. That's what I love about that short verse that he gave us. And we also can't forget Larry June singing the 60 Days part on the track. It was very beautiful, straight to the point, gave you that feel. Just 60 days, a lot can change in 60 days if you just put the work in, put the grind in, put your ideas to work, and just see what happens. And lastly, to end this wonderful project, we got Margie's Candy House. Now Larry June on this one really got into a vulnerable emotional bag, talking about growing up, not being able to talk to his dad, and Margie is actually his grandmother, so it's actually his grandmother's candy house that he's talking about on this one. Now, we do hear Larry June talk about family and things like that in some of his previous songs, but the way he detailed it on this one, you can tell he really wanted to kind of let it all out and give people another side of himself that they're not really used to. The Alchemist also complimented that by giving him a very, very somber, emotional beat that'll make you feel a wave of emotions as you're listening to it. The sample used on this one was perfect for it as well. And I love how on the chorus, Larry June says, real dudes go legit. Real dudes play the game, all that kind of stuff, because that's what life is all about. If you're doing something that's not in the ordinary, you want to go legit at some point in time. And that's the message that Larry June is trying to give to you here. And there you have it. That's Larry June and the Alchemist, The Great Escape. Overall, I give this album about a rating of an 8. I really, really loved it. I feel like this album honestly has no skips at all. I also want to point out the transitions on this album are amazing. This is the perfect album for, let's say, if Larry June was to do a full-length documentary or something like that. This album would go so perfect with that documentary. It really feels like you're in a movie. And I feel like the album name, The Great Escape, follows along with Larry June escaping from the lifestyle that he was in before he jumped into the rap game. Like I said, overall, I love this album. I would love for Larry June and the Alchemist to jump back in the booth and give us another project like this because it was amazing. Before I get out of here, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And also, if you got an album you want me to sit down, listen to a review, and give a video like this, just let me know in the comments or shoot me a message, and I'll be sure to fulfill that for you. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one.